So in this part of the tutorial we are going to have a look at how we can make the camera follow the character. So right now I simply just added 3 small platforms, and then I added a medium platform up here and a large platform up here. And as you can see, the player is able to reach all of them by running around and by jumping from platform to platform like this. And he can also jump up on top of the last one here. So right now we would like to make sure that the background takes up all the space that it can. So you can see on the camera there's this little white edge here, and that's the edge of the camera. So we can take the background and move it so that it just goes to the edge here on the camera. But you'll see that we want the camera to be able to follow the player so that it goes to the edge of the the edge of the platform here. So we need to make the background a little larger. So we can select this tool right here in the top right and then stretch it a little so that it goes over the edges of the what they call the platforms here. So right now, if the camera follows the player, it will go to the edge of the platform so that we can't see the gray background here. So if the camera follows the player around, let's see if we can find the camera here. It will not go all the way out here so we can see the blue. It will only go to the edge here and all the way to the edge over here like this. So we'll need to program that. So first of all, we'll need to create a new camera script so that it follows the player. So let's go to our scripts, right click on it, click create, script, and call it camera follow. It's our camera follow script, and we can add that camera follow script to our main camera here. So double click on the camera follow script to open it up. And in here we'll have to add some fields. First of all, make a private float called xmax. So this is the maximum value of x when it goes to the right. Private float ymax, private float y minimum or x minimum first, and private float y minimum. And all these needs to be serialized. So just do like this, serialize field, and then just copy it and paste it on top of the others here so that we can see them in the inspector, of course. Because the camera needs to follow the player until it gets to the edge of the screen of this background here, and then needs to follow him, and when he jumps up it needs to follow him until it gets up to the edge here, and if he falls down it should also stop before you can see the edge of the what are they called, the platforms. Okay, let's see. So it starts in position 0, and I guess the minimum position is on y is 0, so it doesn't go below the position it has right now. So we can take the camera here, and I think I need to save the script first so that I can see stuff. See, there we go. So the minimum y value is 0. The minimum x value should be the value it has right here. That's also, let's just say 0. So the minimum x value is also 0. The y max value is, if we go all the way to the top here, just before we can see the blue sky here, is 12.75. So the y max, and the maximum x is, see, just before we can see the edge here, let's see, what is it, 13.02, that's 13, let's just say 13, and let's go with, yeah, 12.75, that's fine. Okay, so let's move the camera back here or something, and then take the player and place him on top here, so he starts by falling down here in the top. So when we start the game, he starts by falling here like this, down here, and then the camera should now follow the player. So to do that, we will have to write some functionality here. First of all, we will need a private transform called target, and this target should be equal to the player. So in start, we will simply say that our target is equal to GameObject.find, and we should just find the player .transform. So now we have a reference to the player's transform, the place we need to move towards. Okay. So in update, or actually we should do it in void late update, to ensure that the player has moved before we move the camera towards the player. We can say transform that position equals new vector 2, I guess. Does this need a vector 3? No, let's see. Math.clamp, and we need to clamp the x value so that it doesn't go out of its bounds. So it should be target.position.x. The minimum value is x minimum and the maximum value is x max. And then the y value should be mathf.clamp target.position.y, and the minimum y value is y minimum and the max is y max. There we go. So what we just did is that we set the transform position of the camera equal to the target x position and the target's y position, so the player's x and y position. But we are clamping the position so that the position can never go below the minimum and the maximum, and below the minimum or over the maximum here. Let's try to save this and see what happens. I don't know if we need the C value so the camera doesn't move its C value. Yeah. So now you can see we can't see anything because it's a vector 2 and the camera is on top of the player right now. And we don't need that. We need to go here and change it to vector 3, I guess. And then we need to say that the C value here is equal to transform that position C. So it just keeps its C value no matter what. So let's try to save this and run again. There we go. So now you can see the camera is following the player and it's stopping at the edge here. So when I run to left, it doesn't go further than this edge. And if I run all the way to the right, it doesn't go further than the edge here. And when I jump down here, it follows him nicely until the ground here. And it doesn't go over the edge in the right side. So that's how you can make the camera follow the character in a 2D platformer. As you can see here right now, we don't have any props or anything in the game, so we can also just add some small props here. Let's try to do that. So we can add lots of different things here. We can add some mushrooms, some trees and everything, but I simply actually just want to show you how you can create a crate, because that's something you can jump on top of, because the other things here, for example, the stones or something, should be easy for you just to drag them into the scene, place them somewhere, and then simply just make them larger, like this or something. Maybe that's a little too large. Like this, and then just place them somewhere and put them somewhere, like behind the player, for example, so that the player can walk in front of them, like this, for example. Or if you want something the player should walk behind, you can go down here in the corner, for example. And add a bush and another bush here. Let's try to add one darker, and then make both of them a little larger. Didn't I do that both? So apparently they have different sizes. So we can have one bush here that the player walks behind, and then another one in front of it here that the player walks in front of. Like this, like so. Here. So the one that the player walks in front of is -1. The one that the player walks behind is 1. And then we can also add some like kind of tree or something. So if we add a tree here and say that it's 5, 5, 5, that's maybe a little too big. 4, 4, 4. Yeah. So actually I want to add the tree over here, that the player can walk in front of the tree here. So that's -1, and so on. So you can keep adding stuff to the scene like this, different sprites and everything that makes it look a little better when you have lots of things that you can have. So for example, here's a tree you can walk in front of. If you jump over here, we have the bushes. One of them is where the player runs behind. You can see his feet here. So we'll have to move the bush a little downwards. We have to move it down here, for example, so the player is hidden behind it, and then the player walks in front of the other bush here, for example. Still see his feet a little, so you can move a little further down, like this. Yeah. So that's how you can add some different props to the level. One of the more interesting things to add would be a crate that the player can jump on top of, up here, for example. So if we stop playing for a while, just move this bush down again, we can take the crate and add it to the scene. And we need to handle the crate exactly the same way as we handle our platforms. So basically we will make the crate a little larger. That's a little too large, just a 2. That's not large enough. So we have the crate here, and on this crate we'll have to add a collision box. So we have to click Box Collider 2D. So now we have a collider that goes all the way around it, and we'll have to add one more Box Collider 2D, which is a trigger. And let's just disable the background for a minute, and then click on the box, and you'll see we have this other collider here. It will have to be larger in the width so that the player can enter the box collider here, and the height needs to be a little smaller, like so that the player can walk in and jump on top of the box. And now it's very important that you don't make the box overlap with the ground here, because then there will be a collision and it's not going to work properly. So you have to take the crate and move it down without overlapping the platform's collider, which is down here, so it doesn't do that. And if we play the game now, sorry, let's see, did I remember to set them? If I click on the crate, you'll see that we need to put the script on. So collision trigger script, we need to put on. The first one is the platform collider. That's the one that's not a trigger. And the next one is the box collider, which is the trigger. So let's see, we can walk in front of this crate. Okay, behind it. So we'll need to change the crate's ordering layer to -1. Let's try one more time. So here we go, it's -1. I can jump on top of the crate, land on it, and I can walk off it here, as you can see. So that's how you can add some different props to the level. So now you can just have some fun, create the level, put some different things in. You see, the more things you put in, the more, what should I say, realistic, or the more fun the level looks and more nice to look at. Put some different mushrooms, for example. Make this size too, for example, a little larger, and then just put them around on the rock here, for example. We also have a mushroom down here, and last mushroom we can put like here, and then we can rotate it, for example, to make it look like it's like growing sideways on this rock or something. There we go. Yeah, but I guess that's basically it for now, for this tutorial. If you have any requests for the tutorial, of course, just ask them. Either send me a private message or an email or something. Then I'll see what I can do. For example, if you want to have some more attacks or something, or some enemies, or you want to create or make it into like a more create it into like something that is more like a game with some gameplay, for example, then we can also have a look at that. But this is it for now. So thank you very much for watching and following the series. And remember, if you want the code, then you can simply just either follow the link in the description and get the code project, or you can just support me as a patron, and then you'll be able to download all the code with line comments as well. And besides, whenever you support me as a patron from now on, you also have sneak peeks on every single tutorial that I'm making, because you will be able to see the tutorial before the actual release date on YouTube. So yeah, again, thank you very much for watching.